Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about how do you solve equations using square roots, so similar to the problems that you see up on the screen here. Just a heads up, before you start this lesson you should already know how to solve equations, you should know the rules for equations, what you do on one side, you do to the other, things like that. If you want a refresher on those rules and how to solve equations, I will link a video in the description below. Please go watch that before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So here we have an equation. Oops. A squared equals 36. So if you remember back to just solving simple equations, the goal of the equation is to get the variable by itself. Okay, so I want to get this a by itself. I need to move this exponent of 2, this power of 2, to the other side. So in equations, remember, we always do the opposite. If I want to move this minus 4 to the other side, I'm going to do the opposite of minus 4, which is to plus 4. And so then that's how I move it to the other side, because these are going to cancel out. Now, to move this 2 to the other side, remember this is something raised to the power of 2. This is something squared. The opposite of squaring something is to square root it. I'm going to say that sentence one more time. The opposite of squaring something is to square root it. Okay, so we're going to square root, and remember, one of the rules of equations, if I do it on the left-hand side, you have to do the same thing on the right-hand side, so I'm going to square root over here. And now, let's think back to our earlier example with these 4s, right? What happens to the 4s when I do the inverse operation? Well, they cancel out, right? They basically go away. Same thing here. When you take the square root of something that is squared, they sort of cancel each other out, leaving us with a, which is what we wanted, right? We want to get a by itself. And now over here, the square root of 36, you got a couple options here. You could type that into a calculator, but it will only give you half the answer. Talk about that in a second. The other way to think about this is, remember, square root just asks you what number times itself gives you 36. What number times itself gives me 36? Well, the answer to that is positive 6, because 6 times 6 is 36. And this is what your calculator will give you. Great. But remember, there's another answer here. Negative 6 times negative 6 will also give me positive 36. So your calculator is only going to give you the positive version. Make sure you also include the negative version. Sometimes in math, we will simplify that answer. Actually, we will simplify that answer and just write plus or minus 6, like this. This means positive and negative 6. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem here is the work. Your final answer should have been positive and negative 7. And for the second problem here is the work. Hopefully, the variable on the other side doesn't change the way we solve the problem. Should get positive or negative 4. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.